Yeah, I think if you're speaking, your mic is muted. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Amazing. Yeah, I can.
Awesome. Awesome.
We're getting people coming in. I
Yeah,
think we're
sure.
six now.
No
Let's
issues.
wait a few minutes so that people can.
Just give like maybe 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let me go mute.
Mhm. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I think we can start. I think we have a decent amount of people in since we're like 11 here. I think the other
Oh,
people,
that's amazing.
yeah, probably
I think
again.
you should just get started. I think most of
Yeah.
who are I think they've
All
been
right.
joining now. our physical and virtual events. So I think pretty much I could see some familiar faces. So I
Okay.
think you could get started, please. Thank you for
All right.
joining. Thank you for having the conversation and your time to have this with us.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I would have to be up and down my eyesight and all that. Yeah. So it's nice to have everyone gathered here. I think this is the first event that we're having this year, and um, as we all know, Flint is. Oh, sorry, my bad. Friends of Figma is a community that brings up designers, mostly the ones that use Figma. No discrimination to any other this, but yeah, it's a community of designers, like minds, and even beyond. And in today's session, we're going to be having a little conversation around what being different actually means. Because I believe that. Am I audible enough? Sorry, I didn't make that clarification. Am I audible enough?
Yeah, you're edible. I mean, very audible.
Amazing. Amazing. So, as I was saying, that being different is something that we tend to like kind of have. So it's subjective to how people see it. Somebody can see it in a negative way. Somebody can see it in a positive way. So, it's just more of a conversation here that we're going to see. Okay, how you're being different but in the right way. At the same time, you're not like forcing it upon people to be like, oh, this person is trying to make it very obvious that he's being different. So without further ado, I am going to be asking questions. So I don't know how that's going to be. Most likely, if you can't speak, you can write your responses in the chat. I think it would be really much appreciated. But before then, let me get right. Amazing. Yeah, so let's start with who I am. Mm, my name is Abdussamad Ibrahim. I am the creative sensei at Flint. Flint is a streetwear brand, and also a lifestyle brand where we kind of showcase the day-to-day lifestyle of northern Nigerian people, but that do them like northern Nigerian creatives, but they do them in like a different way. Kind of today is not about that, but yeah, that's what we do at Flint. But at the same time, I'm also the creative advocate at Friends of Figma, the Kano chapter, together with Mr. Yahya here, and I do brand designing for a living. So I colors, pixels, and all that for brands actually. So yeah, that's who I am. So I think the first question that I have is, have you felt like you don't quite fit? This is a like everyone. Do you feel like, okay, I don't really fit in this space, or I just don't fit? Do you have you ever felt that? Please, I need a response. And if yes, how how was the question, or how was it to you? Is it more of like, oh, I don't fit among friends? No, I don't fit in the workplace. I would love to see some responses around that, so that I know the whole journey doesn't feel like I'm speaking alone. So yeah, yeah, I see some responses. And can you tell us how you felt, maybe while people are not saying, okay, you don't fit? What was the situation like? Yeah, yeah, is there a possibility we could get people to speak?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I think we should be able to do that. I believe so.
Okay.
Um, Let me try to see if there is a way to. Yeah, I think all participants can. Okay, sorry. Did I mute everyone?
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So I think I see a couple of responses. Baraka said she sees that she doesn't really quite fit in the creative industry and or the creative space rather, and she feels that's why she's here to seek clarity. I think that's a very nice one. Yeah. Zahreddin, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I
Well,
think yeah, you could
I
go
would
ahead.
really encourage for all of us to turn on our cameras
Yeah,
because
let me try
it would
to
be nice for
make
us in
everyone
terms of
present.
like media and all that, since it's not a physical event.
I think everyone should be able to speak now. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, amazing. So yeah, does anyone also have like a comment regarding this? So I mean, if we don't have, well, this is what people usually say, or what comes up. Oh, do you think you do you think differently? Do you like kind of see things that other people ignore? And are you told? Have you been told that you things like this is not the normal way? I think a lot of creatives in northern Nigeria would actually attest to that. That okay, this is what the norms is actually like, but this is how they actually do it. So a lot of people actually see it as not the usual, and it's rather unsettling at some point. At some point, it makes me happy. So but you get questions like this. For me, I have had a lot. I think Yahya can also testify that he has had a lot in terms of seeing this. And this is what actually makes other people to hire you in places where it actually matters, because you don't see what the regular person sees. So that's why they need your input. And that's why they pay you millions of dollars to just be in the team so that you can make the difference. Um, so regularly, this is what it is. Not all difference is good difference. What do I mean here is uh, you can make a difference and it might not really be beneficial, or that's not what's needed at that point. Um, Example is maybe the streets are always clean, right? And while passing by, you have maybe a pack of biscuits in your hand, and after eating the biscuits, then you throw the pack on the streets. There is no actual justification to that, because throwing that pack on the street actually makes the streets dirty. And while you are making a difference doing it, because every other person is not doing it, you are doing a bad, you're making a bad difference. So you would have to be cautious about where you make the differences, or spaces that you actually go out and speak, or actually make some moves or actions that would deteriorate this act of difference that you're trying to make. So, in essence, what I'm trying to say is you have to keep a clear mind when doing that. Whenever you're making a difference, make sure that it's good, make that it has great um, impact to whoever you're doing. Um, so that brings us to this fact that being loud doesn't equate to being valuable. You can be loud and then you can be valuable at the same time. Some people usually mistake these two. They think whenever you're loud, you are being uh, valuable, but it's actually
Oh, is that my network? Hello? Hello, can you guys hear me? I think anyone should be able to speak. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think we missed Abdussamad. Probably couldn't hear him. Mm, I think maybe we should just wait for him a bit. I think maybe it's. Okay, I think it's just I think he's trying to connect. I don't know why. Like, network issues. We're in Nigeria, so what do you expect? Things like this would definitely happen. Um, okay. Yeah, I think we should give more minutes. I don't know for some reasons. He said he's trying to log on back, so let's just give him a moment. Sorry for the delay.
Hello, sorry about that. My internet just went off. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, please, can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Um, I'm having a little bit of hiccup with the slides. So while I out like in sharing it back, I can just go ahead with what I was talking about. So I said be equate to being meaningful,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
in
If you can't share your screen, you can send the link and you can also turn off the video so that the network could just be okay. So you can share the link here, then I could be able to share possibly. Yeah.
um, let me do that. All right, yeah, yeah. I think I have the link in the chat. You can help me with sharing it. So yeah, we were at where doesn't equate to being meaningful, right? Um, hello, Yahya, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Where are you exactly? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
This right?
where does to be? Yeah, the next one.
Okay. The next one.
Yes. So in this way, it's usually
I think
when you're
you
done.
can turn off your video, Abdussamad. Just turn off. You
Okay,
can turn
okay.
off your video so that yeah. Mm, okay. I'm still having network issues.
As I was saying that when
Sorry for breaking you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Claim I'm locked. Yeah.
saying
Okay.
something,
Is it possible for us to is it possible for us to discuss the points in the slide before, or you want to round up everything before we start commenting on them?
yeah, I think it's better. Let's maybe then we can come back for questions and discussions, right? Since
Okay.
it's just a short. Yeah. All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So for this one, yeah, as I said, it's usually a fact that whenever somebody is being different, you kind of see him as weird, or we see the industry as weird. So it doesn't really equate to being an individual doing this. A company can do this. A group of individuals can do this, and the way people are or the way other companies are. So regularly you just label them as weird, but it's not always when you're weird that you make sense of what you do, or people actually see that making sense. So this is another fact that needs to be out there. Then the next one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you said the next better one.
yeah, yeah. So you can be unique. Like, I mean, every individual is unique. Our thumbprints, fingerprints, they're all unique. But not everybody, the way everything is shaped, it looks maybe beautiful. That's where maybe we have bad designs, good designs, because these things look pleasant to the eyes. They look amazing. They look different. But do they actually make meaning, or can you use them for something? So I think I had a situation where I saw a cup, and the cup looks actually like very nice, but it doesn't really use to like drink water or drink something out of it. But with the shape of the cup, it doesn't serve its purpose. So it might look very, it's not useful. So yeah, and this is where we say things that are different without intention. They're usually just noise. And maybe when they have intention, when there is an intention made with it, you see you see it as music. You know how you can define a noise, and you know when you can say this is music. So yeah, then okay, standing out is not the same as moving forward. Also, this is when you stand out, sometimes it's usually in a place of at the same time being different, but you need to combine direction and a motive to where exactly you're going. Take for example, when you see um, the game actually makes sense.
Sorry, Abdussamad, we can barely hear you. We can barely hear you.
Until you come to score goals. Press the
You
is that yes, and you try to
hello,
score without any
hello.
direction. The ball
We can
might
barely,
go
we
off.
can barely hear you. We can barely hear you. I don't know
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me?
why. Yeah, I think we can hear you before, but I think your network is still having issues.
Mm, Not really network. I think my laptop connected to the TV. Me now better?
I think it's better.
Yeah,
All right, all right. So as I try to score and you don't give directions, the goals usually don't get to you don't get to do that because there was no intention towards where you wanted the ball to go to. Likewise, this happens when you um, when you do this in business or when you do this as an individual. Whatever motive that you're trying to put out unfold by giving it directions. Yeah, can we go to the next slide? hmm So this is the difference between the difference and the direction, or how you need these two to combine. So whenever we're speaking about difference, there are things like, okay, it's trend driven, which is how TikTok is. Okay, maybe it seeks for attention, or it's short lived. That difference without direction is more of like you having a lost map. You have the direction, but you don't see how you could stand out. So in branding, you need uh, what product are you shipping out that is different from other people that have already done the same thing. So if you are running a fintech app, why, why would why would users go and use your fintech app rather than just everybody has uh, everybody has a fintech app. So when you combine these two, the direction comes with purpose because purpose is driven. It's aware of the problems, really sustainable because these things are like the skeleton of what the heck.
You could go
Can
ahead
we
and
go to the next one?
yeah, you could control the screen. Just click on next.
Controlling the screen would become a little bit difficult because I need to. That was what I was doing when the sound went off. So maybe to it would be better if we stick to the original plan. Is how you combine the difference and the direction of
Abdussamad, we can hear you, please. We can hear you.
all right. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think it's better now.
Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, so how do you do things the right way, or how do you become different the right way? That's where I said you combine the two. You become while you're being different, you put in directions to whatever you're doing makes sense. Okay, whenever we say makes sense, okay, how do we describe that? You made a bag, but it doesn't look like the conventional bag. Use it. So you're targeting a specific niche or a specific target of people, and you want them to use this particular bag. You have to make it accessible for them. So you might decide to give it a story. Oh, the reason why we made this bag is because it relates to this, it relates to that, tailoring it towards the individual or a group of people that you're making that product for. Secondly, the making sense part is where you design it and it actually does what it's supposed to do. So, as we said, the bag, it's intended to hold certain pieces of items. So, you know that when you're making a bag for a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, it's definitely going to be different from when you're making a bag for a 70-year-old or a 50-year-old person, because the individuals are two different type of individuals. Somebody that is 70 wouldn't want to carry heavy items, and somebody that is in their 16, 17-year old, what's it called, they wouldn't want to take too much, but at the same time they wouldn't want anything that is out of glamour and all that. So uh yeah, I think I left a couple of elements in the last slide. Sorry about that. Yeah. So also, the third one is very important. It has to be something that lasts over time. So I talked about the sense, making sense, it's serving its purpose, but yeah, it needs to last over time. You're not making it as a one-off, because I think that's one of the biggest problem that we have right now. Whenever somebody is making a product, whenever somebody is building a brand, they usually look at it from a 2-year plan or a 1-year plan, whereas they're supposed to see it for a long time. If Mercedes Benz didn't really look at their demography or what they were building, they wouldn't have lasted as long as they are. I think Mercedes it became 140 years yesterday. So it's the amount of effort. They did something that was totally out of the norm, and then they sticked to be having a direction. So the being different and having a direction came seamlessly. So I think we could go to the next slide now. And yeah, so difference should come from somewhere real. This is a very crucial principle that we need to like abide with or abide for, which is difference is it needs to come from within. It needs to have depth. It needs to have meaning. As I said here, it's rooted difference. You need to say, okay, this is where it comes from. This is why we're doing it this way, and um, you have to bring in some substance. Okay, the environment we made this for is maybe a harsh environment. Yeah, can we go to the next one too? The environment is a harsh environment. The experience that people have lived through is somewhat looking up to. So when you can't take somebody that is used to the snow and bring him into where there is Sahara and expect him to live like a normal, I'm having like quote unquote like a normal person, because everybody in that environment sees normal as uh, having all these elements. So you're not expecting to see somebody that is in that comes from a snow area to stay in a hot environment. The difference is just crazy. They wouldn't adapt, and even if they're adapting, it's going to take a long amount of time before they do that. Likewise, in products, when you're building, you have to look at the environment you're building for. You can't build an app that is meant for people that are only in Lagos or only in Nigeria for some other people that are in the US probably, because here you have to factor in things like language, things like uh, what does the maybe exchange rate looks like, things of that nature. So you have to look at that. You have to look at also their background and all that. Next slide, please. And if it's not useful, I believe it's decoration. I said this earlier. It's just like music and noise. You need to differentiate the two. Next slide, please. So these are the things that you need to that usually comes up when you are making things that are useful. You should ask these silently. You can be loud when asking it, but here it's you. Does the problem you're trying to solve Is there a problem you're trying to solve? Is there clarity in whatever you're doing? Because this is where people are, and you want to elevate them to a higher standard, to a higher level. So you need to make sure that there's a form of clarity in it. And does whatever you're building help someone? Is it actually doing something different for them? So these are the questions that you need to answer. Next slide, please. Yeah, value beats vibes. We know we make things for just the vibes and how beautiful it is, but make sure that there's value attached to it. That's what makes it right and not just different. Next slide, please. You have to press this like 3 times. Sorry about that. So there's a consistent difference that's also um, plays. Difference needs time to work, and the moment we just come out and just say, okay, we need this to happen. The ideas might be great, everything might be okay, it can be useful, it has meaning to it, but if you don't wait for it to marinate, sort of, like, you need time for it to actually settle. Uh, there's this theory that big brands have, Hems also, when they sell their bags, even Rolex also, when they sell their bags, there are certain type of products that you don't get to buy. You only need to buy them with time. So like the Birkin bag, you need to be in a constant what's it called? A constant customer. You buy their products constantly before you are enlisted to buy this stuff. So as I said, just the example I finished giving, you have to be repeating. It builds that trust. And whenever you feel like, okay, we can trust you, then, and that's the repetition. You come today, you make it work. Tomorrow, you make it work. Next tomorrow, you make it work. And that's where you refine stuff. So for people that build in products, Yahya will tell you this for free. That whenever they're designing, he doesn't look just at as the physical, um, um, what's it called? The physical outcome of what the design looks like, but he of like the structure. So something might actually be eye catchy, work part, it makes sense, but with time, it doesn't really works that much. So that's why you need to do things again and again and again. Next slide, please. Sorry, this one too, you need to press it twice. Kills credibility. I don't know how to emphasize this, but it's something that is rampant with a lot of brands. You see brands rebrand every single year. Even as an individual, you don't need to come out all the time. Okay, today we know you as this certain person, you wear this certain clothes, you do this, you do that, and then all of a sudden you change. There must definitely be something that drags people to you. You switch the identity, or you stop doing what you're known for. People tend to, okay, leave you, and then just they just leave you, and then they do their stuff. I think I could remember what happened with what's the name of this car this car brand. They did a rebrand, and people were not really interested with the rebrand. It happened last year, early last year, sure. And you could see how people were like resenting the, yeah, Jaguar. Thank you very much, Jaguar. Jaguar was known for their elegant muzzle, at the same time, and everything just changed. Like the identity just switched. They didn't change an ethos for the brand or all that, but the looks of how the brand was changed, and that is what killed their credibility. I don't think up to now they've sold those cars because we haven't seen them on the streets. So this is very important. You shouldn't change your identity because it kills that credibility that comes with it. Next, yeah, again, I think we've talked about this. Being consistent, it turns into a signature. Whenever you do something, I think a lot of us here have a way they dress, and anytime you go to certain spaces, just by random, you could try this by yourself. Do something different, or just wear something different that is not usually you. I'm pretty sure before you come back home, different about you. Maybe it's just a haircut, you know. You can just have a different haircut or just wear glasses if you don't regularly wear them, and people would actually notice that, oh, he's constantly doing this, but then he changed to this, so that's his signature. Yeah, next slide please. The cost of being different. This is the summary of exactly what I've been saying since I started. Next slide. You would always be misunderstood. So, and this is how it is. People would be like, we don't get it, and it's totally fine. You just have to accept it. It's totally fine. People resist. Some people would label you. They label you as you're doing it wrong. Some people kind of resent and they say, oh, I'm not doing this anymore because so person is telling me I'm not doing it the right way. And who are they to tell you that this is right? But then you have to balance everything. You have to make sure that there is structure, there is direction in whatever you're doing. And to some extent, some people would actually censor you because they do not believe. It takes a lot of people to other places. So it might be negative and it might be positive at the same time. So, but you just have to have this in mind because always people would misunderstand you or get you misunderstood. And this is where I'm more interested about, like in the whole conversation or the whole slides that I have. Misfits or people that I feel like they are misfits and they're trying to do. Thank you. So here we have, there's supposed to be a picture of somebody here. Can you click it again? Just once. So this is Sophie. She's a social media influencer. And for some reason, when she came out, she wasn't really understood, especially by her family. Because how on earth would she leave Nigeria to go to the US and for some reason start to afford a lifestyle that she was expressing who's. So you know our regular lifestyle social media influencers, you take a camera, you speak about what you do, how you are, okay, get ready with me and all that, and maybe how you're feeling and all that, and then you get a sponsorship or an endorsement from a company. It was kind of difficult for her to explain to them that, oh, she's just using her individual persona to sell or to become out there. So it was, I think at some point she got one of her major deals with, with was with Home Depot, and she got yes. Yeah, I said some being real is a problem, and you have to sell it. Yeah, yeah, it's true. So she was actually being real, to be honest. She gave to herself. She said she's Sophie, the oddity, which means odd. Like odd means different. She embraced that. She opened YouTube channel. She opened started doing streams of discussions with different people where she just expresses who she is. Imagine having $25,000 just to post one single video. It's crazy. So her doing that was somewhat different to how the normal was, and her coming from a Muslim background, which is actually stunning to me when I saw that how everything. But she's doing good, so yeah, this is a perfect example of a personal brand done differently. Can we go to the next slide? So this is also Clint. Sorry for the what's it called? Where I just had to make the picture there. I needed to set in an example. So as we could see, this is like a regular. Sorry, not regular, but this is more of what we describe type of person just from the picture. The name also, his name is 419, which translates to fraud and all that. But this person, I see him as also a case study because he is doing things. So market wise, he's doing things that are right. What he does. When he started a streetwear brand called Cortez in the US and the UK, people saw it differently. So there were likes of Supreme, there were likes of um, other brands that were doing like sales for teenagers. But when he came out, the first thing he did was it's a private account. When you want to purchase an item, it has to be on a drop. There has to be like a drop date. And when that day is done, like the day is today is the day, you go to the website, it's like open. But for him, he sold exclusivity without actually even knowing that okay, this was exclusivity to people because he wasn't selling luxury. He was selling daily streetwear items. So that was how Clint did his own shift into um, crumbles, and this is a brand. They are a company. So you see, we did like personality, and this is a company. Last Crumbs, they sell expensive cookies. This is like the world's most expensive cookies. And I think one of the cookies go for around $15. And you have to order, you have to book maybe a month before getting it. So it's very limited. So you could go through them. I dropped a link for what they do, and when you check maybe their writing and how um, they sell in their messaging, they have customers, they have existing customers. Yeah, so can we have the next one? Oh yeah, mind you, on every misfit I dropped a link. Yeah, another misfit that I believe are the country Switzerland. The country Switzerland has some unique pieces. Switzerland's flag is a square shaped flag, Every other country has a rectangle flag. So they started with that. When you see the like newly outrolled uh, passports, they have two layers passport like in raw form, and the design is very immaculate. It's not what you regularly see out there. So they tried to shift without it being crazy. They did it in their own crazy way. The currency doesn't look like any other currency in the world. Everything you see there is with intention and direction. The people of the country understood everything and they like it as it is because everything was made for the citizens. So this is another example of a misfit. So next slide, please. Yes, so here are just another like a bunch of random people. I think you could like check them out yourself because each and every person here did branding or they came out differently. When you look at Muji never had a logo. So this is just a typeface. When they did it, they just wrote and that was it. I think there are um they've been in they go to. So they value what's it called? They value hospitality more than any other thing. Then we have Flint, which is us. What we're trying to do is totally different. I don't want to go too detailed into that. And the brand, it was just about how the fan uh, style was going to look like outside, and he didn't portray anything. So you know how fashion is like out there. The moment everything in silo, finished the homework, then came out to show the world that this is what he has been working on. We have Patogenia, and this is a proper outdoor lifestyle brand, which they have been doing a way that other people have not done it. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, it's better now. I think you could go ahead, please.
Um, scene, but when he did his own things, he elevated from just doing. I mean, Virgil Abloh has a collab this R that was just few pieces. We have Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was and is Ladoja. We have Corti. We have Nifeba. All these are Nigerians, and in their individual fields, they're doing very out of the normal. So you could check them out. They have interesting work. They have interesting stories. And bank that you see out there, they have more of a youthful welcome. You would just sit down, make these products by yourself, and it was fun. It was engaging to do. So they stick to the plan. So you could sit down, watch this misfits, and see how exciting their lives are, or how different they do their stuff. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So as I said, misunderstanding is part of the process, and you just have to accept it. Anybody that comes, they will tell you that, oh, I don't understand what you're doing. It's fine. It's totally fine. Next slide. Yeah. Just make sure that you turn the differences into value. I can't emphasize this enough. It can be monetary value, it can be relationship value, it can be any type of value. As far as, oh yeah, I forgot to even tell you guys, for the oddity, when she started, her mom like hated the whole idea of her being on social media. And when the mom seen the real evidence of what she does online, she met a couple of random ladies on the, I don't know, maybe at an event or at a mall, I don't know. And they met her and they were like, "Oh, are you Odity's mom? We so much love her. She's impacting so much in our life." Blah blah blah. They give testament and things that actually made her um wonder, oh, is this actually the same child that I was complaining about, that I don't love what she does, she needs to stop it and all that. So this is the value that comes in maybe from a personal point of view, that you, when you show it, nobody's giving her money, obviously. There's that form of happiness that is being portrayed. Next slide, please. Yeah, there's difference becomes powerful when it attracts the right people, it repels the wrong people, which is what I was saying earlier in regards to when these things happen, people are not going to understand, and it's okay. People are going to censor you. They were the wrong audience in the first place, and it provides clarity. This is what we are up to, and we're not trying to confuse. Clarity is always better than approval. You don't need anybody's approval. All you need is the clarity. And when you put it out there, the people that are expected to be there, the brands that are expected to be there would show up above approval. Next slide, please. So yeah, a quick reflection. Next slide. The one thing about you that feels different, but you're not sure what to do with it. This is like a question, as a reflection that I'm asking. That okay, what's one thing that in section? What is that one thing that you feel different about yourself, but you're not sure of how you? You can open your mic and say it if you want to. Anyone? Zaharuddin. We have a bunch of people here. And can we have some responses, please?
I don't know if they can hear you, but it seems like everyone is quiet.
Yeah. Well, I need you to respond also. Since you're here. Definitely
Well,
sure you have something that is different.
well, I think, I think that if there is, well, sometimes I see myself as a misfit because I think being a product designer, I've always been in a room whereby I didn't get to study computer science or any other thing that has to do with going to a design school. I think I've worked with designers that have 10 years of experience in the US and stuff like that. And I just see
Yeah.
myself very small in the room. So it's quite, I'm not quite sure what to do with it because I keep on asking. I think lately I even asked one of my line manager. I was like, "Hey, do you think I should go study a master's in design?" And he was telling me, "Yeah, it's good, but then what's the return on investment? Like, if you study masters in design, you already know design. You've been designing for a while. You've entered into rooms where design is spoken on a high level. Then what do you want it for? You get it? So I think it's that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's always been at that middle where I don't know what to do with it. This is like you're getting a master's just because you just want to get a master's in design, just to kind of like clear your name, or like I don't know. I think I've been there, and I don't know what to do with it now. Definitely, yeah.
Amazing. So does anyone also want to share? Sorry. We have Zahara. Let's at least one person or two. I mean, anyone? I think everybody is shy.
Hello,
It's quite absurd that we are in a call like this and people couldn't be able to come. Well, I
Okay,
don't
then.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we can hear you.
know. So loud and clear.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks. I really do appreciate the you know presentation. I don't know if I should call it that. Um, well, why you started, I I wanted to interject kind of, but I
Yeah,
am delighted that I did not, because the more you went on, the more um understanding and entertaining and meaningful it became.
yeah,
So there's been different, you know.
mm,
I've heard of a lot of times they say think outside the box, think outside the box. That's what's going to make you stand out. My biggest issue is that there are sometimes you feel you can do something different, but you don't really know how to translate that into productivity. You don't know how to actually translate that different about you into real life value. I think it's one of
yeah,
the like it's one of the weights on many persons. They just know, okay, I can see this thing differently. I think something can be done here, but how do I do it? You know? So when I read a lot of books, when I read books and they say be different, be this, be that, well, how do you do it? I think the how is the missing piece in the puzzle. So it's crazy, honestly. That's what I feel.
yeah. Amazing. Because I feel like it can be answered.
If it is answer, I think a lot of us, including myself, most especially, will be benefit from it.
I didn't had something to say. If not, then I think yeah, we could go to the next slide. I would answer your question, inshallah. Yeah. So um, I wanted to say this. You don't need to be, and this is just like my final thoughts, because we all agree that a lot of people don't want to talk also, but yeah, we all have a way that we become different. You can be the rebel in the house. It's not a problem. You can be the rebel when it comes to your industry. You can be you standing out and making it clear for people to understand that this is what your mission is going to make you actually stand out. So, next slide. For listening and the questions. For the questions, I would answer your question. So you were talking about how um, the you probably like you okay, you need to be different in this way, or you just meet random people and tell you that, oh, think outside the box, do it differently. Well, they are right. There is a way out of it, and I think that's I my talk was majorly around how people become more of a rebellion, because that is where the communication comes in. Whenever you're doing something that is different, for you to get, I don't know, what do you do for a living, Malok?
Sorry,
Hello.
I'm struggling with Mac. Well,
Okay.
I do a lot of things. First and foremost, in relation to this, I'm a product designer. I'm also a medical laboratory scientist, and I'm also a professional teacher. Cra- Crazy.
That's nice. You do a lot of stuff. That's great.
Yeah, I
So
do a lot
that
of
that
stuff.
alone shows that you because they are like from different point of view. But yeah, and I've seen this from Yahaya's angle also, where you do a design, but what you're thinking of is who for kids is going to have less words. I mean, like toddlers or like younger kids. It's going to have less words and more of images, right? Sense of how it should be. But then there might be a research that okay, kids relate to colors more than the actual image that you're drawing. You get what I'm saying? So you need to understand when you're going to read how in depth do they want you to be, or how what exactly are you looking for? Because there's something else rather than just the word being different, or think outside the box, or word that you it pops up. You need to go like too deep into the research to make you understand that oh, this particular segment of people translating whatever I have through, they really being different if you do not have um emotive. It's right, it's maybe you want to sell your product, it's maybe you just want to have a name for yourself, maybe you just want to have more money in your account. You need then that's where all these things come in play. So how do you do it? Do your proper research. I know of this person, that person, that person, that into this particular industry that I'm working in. How did you do this? Your experience, your environment, your experience and your environment, tweak it to a way that oh, this actually would work, and it might differ from the way person A did it. I'm pretty sure we're very aware of the story of um, Amazon's. If I, the numbers are right, I don't know. The first 10 years, he was going on loss while selling the books he was selling, but they were all part of the strategy that he was working on. And later on, Amazon is one of the largest in his own way that he thought, okay, this is the way it's going to pan out. Well, obviously, he did the research and all that, gathered data, and then translated that data into really put in the action. We usually end up making the plan and then not executing it properly. So I think I've answered that question, but there's more to that. Somebody here can also say something in relation to that. I specifically invited lazy developer here. I'm pretty sure he has one or two things that could mean something to this particular topic. So I would really appreciate if you say something. Yeah.
In addition to what Mount Block is saying, like how do
Yeah.
you do that? You see, like life doesn't have a manual, and I think that's one thing I came to realize, that you don't need to have a manual at life, right? So, and being someone who has been in the room that they are not even invited, or they didn't supposed to be in that room, by the virtue of how the world should work, right? I'll tell you this for free, that I think you being a professional teacher, you being a product designer, and also being a medical practitioner, right? It just makes sense, because if you look at, the peoples in the 18th, 19th century, you find them. One person is a medical doctor, is a philosopher, is a physicist. I think it's good to just multitask. It's good to be a generalist, right? So, and it doesn't. It's just like you finding endeavor, or you are finding the joy in different endeavors. I think currently I would love to be a furniture maker. I would love to be a textile. I think we've talked about textile. Like these are just interests that I would love to kind of like fall into, start doing when I have the means and the time, right? So it doesn't have a manual. Just do what you love doing, do what you think people can pay for by solving their problem, and you just imagine getting paid for something that you love doing. And I think that's why I'm personally in design. I get paid for what I love doing, which makes sense. That's why I love what I do as a designer, right? So, and tomorrow I want to go into lighting, I want to go into furniture, I want to go into textile. So life doesn't have a manual, and who knows, maybe in the next 10 years your career path or your career thinking might change and you become a farmer. Who knows, right? So definitely it doesn't have a manual. So don't even start, bothering yourself that how to do it, man. Just do what you just think it's okay, as far as there is an impact, the money is coming in, stuff, and you enjoy actually doing it. Because if you don't enjoy doing it, you spend the whole of your life chasing what you don't like doing. So I think that would just be my 50 cents, I believe. Yeah.
Well said, well said. Malo, he's capped it all. Life doesn't have a manual, indeed. So, does anyone have a question or that if a 2 cent about what we just discussed? Because this is supposed to be more of like a conversation, so we're, and we still have time. So,
Well, if we don't have, maybe when it comes to our physical event, we'll discuss this more than doing and hands-on practical, right? So
yeah.
definitely, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, in the
Thank
absence
you.
of no questions, I think, thank you so much, Abdussamad, for having you. Because I think I didn't get the chance to kind of like join, but then at the end of the day, I think at the middle of the presentation, then I think a lot of things caught my attention. I had to kind of like stay. So
Yeah.
I think so much for. Yeah, I think I just look forward to have this kind of conversation that doesn't feel it has to be technical, it has to be design, it has to be development. I think it's necessary we have those kind of like heartfelt conversations and things with life. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining, for staying with us. This is brought by you to you by Friends of Figma Kano. For those who don't know what
I think
Friends
I
of
have
Figma
one
is,
request.
I think most of us here, I think, would have attended one of our physical events. But if not, I mean, Friends of Figma is a design community here based in Kano, powered by Figma. For those who know what Figma is, and for those who don't, I think Figma is a design tool that we use for daily designs, products, brand, graphic design, development, and stuff like that. So, and we're just taking this step by step. Each quarter, each month, we do have like events like this, and we hope to see more of you guys in our event joining soon, inshallah. I think we love to have conversations like this in physical. I think our next event should be physical, inshallah, so that we'll be able to kind of like meet once again for the new year. Yeah. So in the absence of any, sorry, what was that? Yes.
Yeah, I would love for us to open our cameras at least just to have
Yeah. Sure. 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 That would make sense. I mean, Don't be shy. Don't worry. You're in your
more of like
backyard.
the
No
pictures
problem.
we
If you're on the
usually take.
road, there
Yeah,
is
we
no
could
problem.
just
We are really
the screen.
yeah, sure. I think
Yeah,
I could capture the screen.
stop
Yeah, sure. Let me try.
the
Um, let me
screen
try.
and
Yeah, I think if you guys are okay, I just capture. If not,
no, you have to stop sharing the screen so that
yeah. Let's see your faces, guys. I mean,
I also want to add an appreciation note. It's
say
the Kano is
cheese.
not. Hello.
yeah. Go ahead, please.
Kano is not really like when I came to Kano, I didn't see it as this very big tech hub kind of in a place just like the South. But we since I met this community, I think it feels more inclusive. Honestly, it feels like, oh, I'm not the only one designing in Kano. You know, the first 2 years I was there, I thought I was the only one using
even
laptop to
even
design.
even if you went to a village in let's say Lagos or anywhere, don't assume like you're the only person. Look for your tribe.
Exactly. That's the beauty of when I found this community. I was like, man, there are a lot of person design. The first time I came for the physical workshop where we did fig make, it was crazy. I was like, are you serious? This amount of person designing Kano. So it's great. Honestly, it's really really great. I commend the organizers, and I really wish and I prayed that you guys do more physical events to get to meet each other, because me, I don't stay in Kano town, so it's difficult sometimes for me to meet with persons. I work in Bichi in the general hospital there, so sometimes I come to town once a while. So whenever I have the opportunity, I always like to be in the presence of.
Yeah, sure. I think we'll definitely have a physical event some other time. Yeah. Yeah. So I think
All right then.
Someone we can't
Thank
see
you
you,
very
but then I
much.
will go ahead and take. I can't
You
see
can't see
your
me.
camera, but I'll go ahead and yeah, I can see you.
Okay, let me come back.
Okay,
You
fine.
can remove
Yes.
the this thing. You can stop sharing so that
I can stop
everybody
sharing.
can come
Sure.
back to the screen.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
That makes sense. That makes sense. Let me try to. Thank you for. I think let me screenshot. Yes, I think
let's
we're.
pose a strike. Let's go.
So I think let's do another one again. So I think just a moment. One. Oh my God, something is happening. One, two, go. Yes, I think we're good. So see you
All
next
right.
time. And I believe I think we should have our next physical event, inshallah, where we meet next time. And thank you so much. Peace.